Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Monday. So here in the US, it is the week of Thanksgiving, and I promised you guys that I would give you a holiday home decor tour, and that is coming this week. I believe it is going to be set to go live on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. But in today's video, I just wanted to show you guys the most recent tree that I added to my collection. I do have 3 trees up in my house, and this is my very first King of Christmas tree. Oh, and there's Penny. I wanted to do a review on it, let you guys know my thoughts after setting it up and decorating it and kind of living with it for a couple of weeks. And I wanted to also just give you some tips for decorating your tree. I know a lot of people like to put up their tree the day after Thanksgiving. I tend to do it a little bit early, but if you are decorating on Friday, there will also be a few tips in this video that might help you out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with just a review of the King of Christmas tree. So this is new to their collection, and it is actually an 8-foot King Noble Fir, obviously artificial Christmas tree. This one does have 600 warm LED lights, and I really like the fact that this did not have the super bright white LED lights. While I think those are very pretty, they are not quite as I guess warm feeling might be a silly way to say it, but they just have a really beautiful glow to them. I'm going to take you guys in so that you can see how they're kind of wound around the branches there. They look really great, and at night they do give this tree the most beautiful glow. So I'm really loving the lights that they used on this. So again, this is the 8-foot version of this tree. I purchased this myself with my own money back when they had their Christmas in July sale. Currently, it is actually still on sale on their website for $379. So I feel like that's a really good price point for the quality of this tree. When I ordered the tree and they sent me my shipping confirmation, they did include a code, like a refer a friend code that I will put in the description box. If it works, it should give you $25 off of your purchase. And not just this particular tree. If you want one of their beautiful flocked trees, it should work on that as well. So I'll put the code down below. Again, I'm not affiliated with King of Christmas. They just sent me the code after I placed my order. So, and that was back in Christmas in July. I'm not sure if it still works, but anyway, it's there if you want to try to check it out. So, this 8-foot tree is 56 inches wide at the base. So it's not too terribly wide at the bottom. I'm going to back up here so that you can see the tree in full. So it's a really good height, but it's not too terribly wide, which is what I was looking for our entryway here. So it is kind of the perfect dimensions for this particular space. I almost went with the next size up in terms of height, but I didn't think it was absolutely necessary, and I didn't see the need to spend the extra money on that. So again, this is pre-strung, so the lights come attached. You just basically have to, when you set the tree up, it's very simple. You take it out of the box. It comes really well packaged. You connect the different sections. They do have little tags on each of the string lights in each section, and you just connect those. And I mean, I think it took me maybe 5 minutes to put the tree together. It was super fast, you guys. There was a little bit of fluffing that I had to do. I had to separate these branches. As you can see the trunk in there. And these branches all were kind of mashed together a little bit. What's nice about King of Christmas is they actually send you a pair of gloves that you can put on. so that you are not tearing up your skin. If you've ever fluffed a Christmas tree, you know that you can get scratched and it's not the most enjoyable process, but having those gloves really made a big difference. There are a few different light settings. There is the steady, the continuous on-off fade to 3.7% brightness to 4.3% brightness. Honestly, I just leave it on steady. I don't really like twinkling trees. I feel like it triggers my migraine a little bit when I see just a ton of like blinking lights. So I prefer the steady myself. This has a really nice blend of realistic and classic needle tips. So I'm gonna take you guys in real quick and show you the realistic versus the like more traditional. So the realistic would be like this one right here. It really does feel like a noble branch tip. And then this here is that more traditional, what a lot of Christmas trees are made out of. I actually like that there's a mix of the two. I think it adds some texture to the tree and makes it almost look a little bit more realistic, if that makes sense. So I really like that feature of it. It does have a pedal at the base where you can just step on that pedal to turn the lights on and off, so you don't have to unplug the tree. You just push that little button at the base and then you turn the tree off with that. There is obviously a tree stand that is included in this, and I obviously have mine covered up because I have a tree skirt. But I will say this tree is very, very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. The tree base is nice and wide and really supports the tree nicely. So overall, this was totally worth the investment, you guys. I have seen people talking about these King of Christmas trees on Instagram for a number of years, and I've always kind of wanted one, but it's difficult to order something like this online. I'm a very I'm visual, and I also like to touch things just to see how they feel before I buy them, especially when it comes to something like a Christmas tree. So I was slightly hesitant, but I was so pleasantly surprised, you guys. I almost went with their new Queen Flocked tree, but I decided against that because I really do like a more traditional green tree. You will see my tree in my family room during the home decor tour. That one has some flocking and some glitter on it. So for this entryway, I thought it would be better to stick with just a more traditional green tree that I can play up with different themes every single year. So my theme for this year was a snowball pine cone crystal theme. I wasn't entirely sure how it would turn out, but I love it. You guys have seen me do my holiday home decor hauls over the last few weeks. If you missed those, I will link them down below. A lot of these ornaments were featured in that haul, so if you want to know where to find some of these specific ornaments, check out those hauls. A lot of this stuff came from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, things that I purchased at the flower market. I am a florist, so I can purchase the crystals and a lot of like ornaments and stuff wholesale. So some of my ornaments are from the market as well. So that is where all of the ornaments are from for this particular tree. A few tips for you guys when you are decorating. The first thing, if you do have an artificial tree, really take your time putting the tree up and fluffing it. The same goes for when you are attaching the ornaments. Don't rush through decorating your tree. Really take your time to step back periodically and see if you have it properly fluffed. that is something that can take, 20 minutes to a half hour, depending on the size of the tree, but it's 100% worth it. And if you're doing the fluffing as you're connecting the different sections of the tree, so from the bottom on up, it's very easy to do that and to make sure that you get every single branch. So I just kind of stuck the tree together and then I went back in and fluffed it that way. But for next year, for sure, I'm going to do it as I'm connecting the different sections. It's much easier to do it that way, quite honestly. Another kind of obvious tip is when you are hanging your ornaments, there's a few different things that you can use. You can obviously just go get some floral paddle wire and use that, or go to Michael's and purchase the ornament hooks, but get the ornament hooks that match the color of your tree so that they blend in. So here, for example, you can see, where's the hook? Okay, so the hook is right here. Now, I tend to do a couple of different things when I'm attaching my ornaments. So sometimes I will hang it on the tree like I have here. Sorry, this is kind of awkward with my camera stand here. Sometimes I will hang it on where I hook it onto the tree, and sometimes if I want it closer to the branch, I will literally wrap the hook around the tree a few times. I will also do that with really heavy ornaments. Like this ornament here, for example, is a Jason Wu ornament. These were very expensive. I do not want these falling off my tree. So I hooked this around and wrapped that green metal ornament hook around several times so that it's really super secure to the tree. Another way you can attach lighter ornaments or things like crystals is to use fishing line. So that's what I've done with these crystals. Some of these crystals are just acrylic, like this is acrylic, that's acrylic. Where is a glass one? This one down here, this is actually a super heavy glass one, but I still use the fishing line and I made sure to tie it off very securely to the tree. So you can use a few different things to attach your ornaments. Another tip is to not just decorate the quote unquote outside of the tree or like branches that stick out like this. Think about going into the tree with your ornaments, because your ornaments will reflect back the light and it just adds a lot more depth to the overall look of the tree. Don't be afraid to blend different types of ornaments. So here I have a mix of very expensive ornaments with kind of cheap plastic ornaments, essentially, from Hobby Lobby. So these little snowballs, they sell out very quickly every year. So I picked up a bunch this year. They look fantastic with my nicer glass ornaments. So this one here is glass. There is these ornaments here I purchased at Hobby Lobby as well. They just kind of added a different texture. That's another thing. Just look for different textures. And if you need to, while you're shopping for your ornaments, just kind of lay everything out in your cart so that you can get a visual. If you are someone who can't really envision the finished look, do your best to just kind of lay everything out in the cart and see how the ornaments tie in together. I really liked the white theme that I went with here, and it was so fun to go to different stores and find different ornaments that I could piece together to make a really unique and custom look for this tree. Another thing is I would suggest decorating from the top down. Get yourself a step ladder if you need to. When you decorate from the bottom up, you run the risk of knocking these ornaments on the bottom off as you kind of step into the tree to get to some of the higher branches or as you're moving your ladder around. So I always suggest start with the top. I don't have a tree topper on this one. I just I didn't want one for this particular tree, but definitely start with your tree topper and work your way down. I know traditionally for a lot of people, the tree topper is the very last thing they put on, but it's a little bit more practical to do it the other way around. And honestly, have fun, but take your time. It's such an enjoyable process to do this. This tree took me, I think I spent 4 hours putting this together in total, and it was 100% worth it. Stella helped me by putting the hooks on the ornaments. So I actually cut off, like if ornaments came with either, like these, for example, came with like a gold string. I had her cut the gold string off, and then I had her attach the green ornament hook that you can see there, just because I didn't want to see the gold string. And because this tree is not quite as full and fluffy, you know, I wanted to make sure that it looked exactly the way that I wanted. And using the green ornament hooks helped me achieve that look. I think it just looks a lot cleaner when you use the ornament hooks that coordinate with your tree color. Now, if you have a flocked tree, I would suggest using the silver ornament hooks. Those are going to blend in nicer with a flocked tree. So also, don't forget the bottom of your tree. Get a tree skirt. You don't have to buy one from like the Christmas section at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can actually just go to Joann's and maybe pick up some white fabric or some red satin fabric, just kind of depending on the color or theme of your tree. You could do like a fleece. There's a ton of things that you could do for a tree skirt. For me, I really liked this fluffy tree skirt from Hobby Lobby, so I went with this. But I could have totally done like a white satin around the base, and that would have been very pretty. I do have my, I'm gonna see if I can get down there so that you can see it. I do have my scarf that Jennifer made for me. I showed that in a haul. Looks super cute under the tree. But yeah, those are just a few tips for you guys as you are decorating your Christmas tree. Take your time. Step back periodically, make sure you don't have any bare spots. And if you do have some, after putting all of your ornaments on your tree, go to Michael's, go to Hobby Lobby, buy a box of super cheap plastic ornaments and mix them in with, even if you have really expensive ornaments on your tree. These right here, for example, I think I got these at Michael's a couple years ago. I want to say it was like a couple of bucks for the box of these particular ornaments. They're just cheap plastic covered in glitter, but it really makes a difference to have that inside of the tree to reflect the light again. So just go get another box of cheaper ornaments to mix in, and then after Christmas, if you go back and you find your more expensive ornaments on clearance, stock up on them for the following year, which is something else that I do pretty regularly after Christmas. I definitely hit up the after Christmas sales. So there you guys go. Let me know if you have any questions. If I can think of any additional tips, I will put them in the description box. I'll put the link for this tree and the links for my home decor haul videos in the description box as well. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. And tomorrow I will have a video for you on how I decorated my tiered tray in the kitchen. So if you're interested in some decorating tips for a tiered tray, or just, you know, something on your kitchen island, tune in tomorrow for that. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.